Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tyranny. In the last episode we stepped into the burning library to look for the silent archive, which we then found and gave it to the censor so she could deliver it to the Voice of Nerat in cacophony. Unfortunately, the library itself is now completely in ruins because the silent archive also protected the library from being completely buried and consumed by lava. But since we now took the silent archive's scroll, the entire place is now well buried and covered in lava and shit like that. But also at the same time we also broke an edict of fire, and now that edict is part of us somehow. But anyway, let's continue with the rest of the game here, and it looks like that both Lantry and Eb wants to have a chat with us, so let's do just that before we leave this place. So let's start with Lantry.
That's twice now. By Kyros's icy nethers, twice! Edicts have been broken before, but never in all my many years have I heard of one person doing it twice.
Yeah, must be very remarkable then. Anybody can do it. Just think about the wording of the edict and you'll find Kairos has left options. Maybe later I'll slay an Archon. Still planning my day. Glare silently. So quit being awestruck and write this down for future generations. Maybe later I'll slay an Archon. Still planning my day. Well, we are planning to slay the Graven Ash, so yeah, we are planning to do that.
I think that's a jest, but others will see your actions and assume you're capable of just about anything, especially slaying an Archon.
So, what's on your mind? Did you want to discuss matters of the present, or would you prefer a more scholarly rant? Well, you were the one who wanted to talk to me. Let us discuss current matters.
Of course. How can I help?
You know anything about the region we are in? Well, of course he does know this place. He is from the library after all. What are your thoughts on our traveling associates? You are taking lots of notes. What about? Well, tell me about this region a little bit more before we leave it.
This place was home for a very, very long time. Lots of memories. Not sure what you want me to discuss. Of course. How can I help?
Alright. What are your thoughts on our traveling associates?
Are you asking for an objective assessment? Or is this your way of saying you want to gossip?
Well, I guess I want to gossip. Barrick, what do you make of him?
You must have some leverage over him, as I would have thought he'd lead us into a disfavored trap long ago. Or maybe the Legion is just that polite?
I would assume that they are simply that polite and honorable.
I must admit, I am completely fascinated by his predicament. Ever tried diagramming the articulations of his armor? Don't. It'll only lead to madness and ruination.
And Verse?
A most fascinating specimen. I think she has great potential. A dangerous amount of potential, to be blunt. The Scarlet Furies are the fighting elite of the Scarlet Chorus, and that means floating to the top of a sea of blood and chop. We should consider ourselves lucky to have her on our side, with her weapons usually pointed away from us.
Yes, I agree. I like Verse a lot. And what do you make of Eb?
Good typecasters stay underwater. Kairos did the Tears a favor by erasing those moon howlers from history. A shame one of them escaped justice.
Oh, well, this is kinda surprising. I thought you would be more fascinated and interested in them. Why such hostility? And is Eb going to say anything to this?
I like that I make you this agitated. Considering all the things that don't seem to bother you in the slightest. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of getting off on how much power you're giving me here.
Okie dokie. But this is very interesting. I would like to know more that why Lantry doesn't see the Tidecasters in a very positive light.
And then there's your coquettish act whenever someone calls you on your teeth. I'll be the one ready to tangle when, not if, you decide to pounce.
Oh, you have been very, very aggressive here, Landry. That's a little bit out of character for you. And what about kills in shadow?
Aggressive, homicidal, and best kept on a long leash with a longer whip? I'm a poor judge of beasts. I've known so few, and none resemble the scribes and scholars to which I'm accustomed. But there's a blunt honesty to her that I rather enjoy. She wants to bask in your power and makes no excuses for the self-interested nature of her loyalty to you. Such refreshing transparency is rare in humans.
Yeah, I agree. That is rather rare. Let us speak of something else. Some questions for you.
I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge. What did you want to discuss?
More about you. I would like to discuss arcane matters. Questions about our allies and enemies. What can you tell me of the School and Ink Quill? Well, I don't think that he can tell us anything that we don't already know. More about you. Me? Well, fine, but I'm not a very fascinating subject. I study interesting people, enough to know I'm not one of them. What's your story? Origins? Were you born Landry, or did you take that name on joining the School of Ink and Quill? Is it true? Is this your true skein? Did you always want to be a sage? How do you feel about Kairos? Well, tell us your origins first. Someone half your age will ask you to sum up your life, and you'll realize that an odious request that is. Well, where to start? I grew up in Sunder. I was born right after independence from the realm of Stalwart. So yeah, do the math and you'll realize I'm old. My parents were harbor hands. My mother never returned from a voyage, and my father lost his hand to infection and decided to sell me to the School of Ink and Quills. So what's this about? In a treaty that ended with the firm stipulation that Sunder chose to leave and that Stalwart did not lose a civil war, the free city of marks 347 TR as its year of independence. He's pretty spry for 84. Okay, he really is very old. Maybe a little bit older than I expected. I expected him to be somewhere in around his 60s, maybe 70s at best. So when they sold you, how much were you worth? Remain silent, I guess. As a novice, I was assigned to the Dovecotes, where I learned how to raise and groom birds to carry missives, and most of my early tomes are on that subject. 10 years and several tomes later, someone decided I was ready to be welcomed into the inner circle and shown the ways of magic. And since then I spent a great deal of time in field study, which I suppose readied me for life after the fall of the Vellum Citadel. Well, as much as anything could ready one for the strangeness of these days. Were you born Landry, or did you take that name on joining the School of Ink and Quill? Most sages take a new name when they join the school, but for me the transition was difficult at first. I stuck to my old commoner name and then just never got around to picking some highfalutin name like Sage Apophasis or Sage Dangling Participle. Is this your true skein? I cannot imagine doing anything different. I suppose in my youngest days I yearned for battle and glory like most boys I knew. Having now seen how short a soldier's life can be, I look back on that old calling, that old mindset and laugh. So really, what's your story? Well, we kinda asked it, didn't we? Well, is there something more? What do you mean by that? Aha. If he feared us a little bit more, we could ask that, or if he had more subterfuge. Let's speak of something else. Maybe some other day. Maybe some other day we can ask about this. Alright, that's all for now. And then Ep wanted to have a word with us.
That's twice now you've undone one of Kairos' edicts. If you're trying to invite the wrath of the Overlord, good job?
Well, that's not really my intention, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's watching me very closely right now.
The sages have their share of enemies, and there are some that may have thought the Edict of Fire a suitable fate. Regardless of what the sages do or don't deserve, the knowledge in the Vellum Citadel belongs to all of us, and Kairos' destruction of that knowledge is what really tangles my line. Breaking the Edict of Fire is a signal to Taratus. The Overlord can be defied. The punishments can be overturned. More specifically, you are the one who can undo the Overlord's whims.
You really want me to turn against Kairos, don't you? Epic points at you with her staff.
What is it you need?
We should discuss matters at hand.
I have a great deal of ambivalence regarding the Scarlet Chorus. Nerat is worse than Kairos, yet many in the Chorus were my countrymen. Most of them fighting because they will suffer worse indignities if they do not. So I must ask, what is your goal behind working with the Voices of Nerat?
Well, I don't trust him. The Voices of Nerat is the mightiest of the Archons. It's a means to destroy the disfavored. Yeah, it's a means to destroy the disfavored.
The disfavored have made a mockery of every army in the tiers. Even the Unbroken could not best them. Against such a foe, the wise move is to place others in harm's way. And the Scarlet Chorus is in no shortage of fodder.
Okay. Have we asked her about our companions?
Ask away.
I have questions about the people of the tiers. Let's speak of magic. Yeah, I would like to ask you about our travel companions. She nods silently, awaiting your follow-up. What do you make of Barrick?
My one concern with Barrick is that he's still loyal to Graven Ash and not to you. Barrick seems steadfast, faithful, and dependable. But if it comes down to you versus Graven Ash, therein lies the test.
Yeah, and I'm very eager to see that which side he's going to pick in the end. If it weren't a tactical asset, it would be fun to try and pry him out of that suit. Curious to see if his midsection is as strong, firm, and taut as I have imagined it should be. Oh, so that's what you have been thinking about, huh? She nods silently, awaiting your follow-up. And verse?
We should consider ourselves fortunate that one of the most deadly members of the Scarlet Furies considers you a suitable gang leader. That said, I think her involvement with you is entirely suspect. I would wager good money the Voices of Nerat is listening through her, or perhaps seeing what she sees.
That would actually be very interesting and frightening at the same time.
If I were you, I would keep a close eye on Verse. If she wanted to kill you, she could have done it already. I can't help shake the feeling that she's part of some long ploy with the Archon of Secrets.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was, but she. I don't remember discovering anything like that in my first playthrough, so she's most likely not. And Ep is just exaggerating here. Well, anyway. And Lantry?
Probably the only word thief I haven't wanted to dismember. Him, I'd merely flay with an ice knife.
Well, she doesn't like him. The Wandering Scholar thing seems an act. It's always an act with the sages, always pretending to know less than they really do. I'm sure he's got 1,000 reasons for why he's not like them or more trustworthy than the rest, but I know his type, and so I don't trust him. Aw, that's high praise coming from you. I'm going to take this staff and repeatedly jam it into your backside until you prolapse. Ah, just like that. balance is restored to all known existence. You had me worried there. Okay, so these two do not trust each other a whole lot. I did not notice that in my first playthrough. And lastly, Kills in Shadow.
So long as she doesn't perceive you weak enough to challenge, Kills in Shadow should prove a fearsome, loyal retainer.
I find it strange. In humans, Kairos' invasion spawned despair, surrender, rage, but the beastmen seem almost indifferent to Kairos, and unshaken by the constant state of war the Tears have seen.
And Kills in Shadow adopts this optimism more than any. Seems she has no room to be sad about what the Overlord has destroyed. She seems to care only about what can be carved out of what remains. I try to find inspiration in that.
That's a very good life philosophy too. And let's change subject and... What do you know of Arcane Society? Arcane Society.
I know a great deal of the mages of the Tears, or at least their history. Most are dead now. I know a little less about the guilds sworn to Kairos' Archons, but I try to make an effort to know my opposition.
Alright, so we can ask about the Earthshakers, Bloodchanters. So the Earthshakers were the mages in the Disfavored, and Bloodchanters of the Scarlet Chorus, Forgebound, Ink and Quill. Well, let's start from your School of Tides. Our patron, Occulted Jade, Archon of Tides, is as old as the settlers of the five wives, and for nearly 5 centuries we were masters of the coasts and the rivers. These days it's a school of one. You're looking at it. Yeah, because you are the only one remaining. She thumbs her chest with a bemused smirk. So, Occulted Jade, Archon of Tides, is the founder of the School of Tides, as well as its only ruler. Though she wrote the title Archon, Occulted Jade never bowed to Kairos, though many have tried to compel her to do so. Having arrived with the settlers that made landfall at 5 Wives, she is perhaps the oldest known living Tearsman. Capable of manipulating the oceans, the moons, and all the transitory forms of water, Occulted Jade used her magic to form a cabal of seafaring traders, musicians, and academicians. And it was the dedication to the arts that helped the school endure. For by teaching these trades to the children of noble families, the school remained in the good graces of the realms. Being able to control most anything cyclical and fluid, Occulted Jade has lived for centuries and could still be alive today, but none known with certainty. In the years before the conquest, the School of Tides discovered the Overlord's plan to invade. Despite all assumptions that the Tears' resident Archon would defend her school and home, to the surprise of everyone, the Archon vanished across the seas, taking nearly the entire School of Tides with her into exile across uncharted waters. Aha, interesting. So they could still be alive in an unknown continent or something. And the 5 Wives. The 5 Wives is the name for both the historic landfall of seafaring human settlers on the Tears, as well as the name for the archipelago where the first, now largely abandoned, settlements were founded. In centuries past, the historic event was known more probably as the 5 Wives and the 7 Husbands, for as the story goes, 7 ships made landfall, and after 2 seasons of difficult living, the 7 husbands got back on their boats and see what else was nearby, and all perished. Many suggest this is just a parable used to explain the gender roles of land ownership and admiralty in the Tears, but the nobility take the origin story quite seriously, and nearly every noble house in the Tears has a family mythology linking them back to these 5 fabled matriarchs. Interesting. I did not know about these things in my first playthrough, maybe because I didn't just talk to Eb enough. Why didn't you Archon fight in the war? About a year or so before the troops arrived in the Bastard Tier, Occulted Jade proclaimed the age of the Tears was over, and said she would depart southwest into unknown, unending ocean rather than face Kairos. Most of my guildmates went along, choosing to risk the endless high seas rather than risk battle. A few of us, the militians as our peaceful brethren dubbed us, chose to stand and fight. To my knowledge, I am the last one of those who decided to stay and fight. And more about this. What was your school like before the war? There was a time when the Tidecasters were the most powerful guild of the tiers. The Kingdom of Haven accepted us as defenders of sea, trade, and the noble houses gave us peace and quiet in exchange for teaching their sons and daughters music, writing, and navigation. Though the other schools coveted our knowledge, they feared our wrath. Between our destructive magic and our Archon patron, others knew that attacking us meant suicide. Well, I think that this is quite clear to us by now, but let's ask anyway. So how did the school fall? The Archon Cain issued a challenge, and Masters Folfax, Hakrivar, and Camberiel leapt at the chance. I told them it was a hopeless clash. I think they were ready to die. Fear with Ebb. The end of the story you should already know. Some Fatebinders made sure the Tidecasters Elder were taken in chain to the Voice of Nerat. Not that I'm still bitter. Ebb eyes you with a scowl. Oh yeah, because that was our conquest decision where we decided to capture the Tidecasters and bring them to the Voice of Nerat so the Scarlet Scholars could learn more about their arts and magics. As the youngest Tidecaster still in the tiers, I exercised the better part of valor and went into hiding. But then my sense of shame kicked in and, well, that's about when I fell in with the Vengean Guard. Old as the five wives. By all accounts, Occult Jade was among the initial settlers that made landfall in the tiers before Kairos first cast an edict. Though she's a bit old and stooped, she looked amazing for nearly 500. Damn. I wonder how amazing.
I know a great deal of the mages of the tiers.
Yeah, I know.
Or at least their history. Most are dead now. I know a little less about the guilds sworn to Kairos' Archons, but I try to make an effort to know my opposition.
I would like to ask more. I would also like to ask about the Earthshakers and Bloodchanters and basically everything. But I think I'll save them for later. Let's
ask away.
So let's just continue our travels. And I also noticed that we got a new missive, all leather, from Voice of Nerat. Fuel for the fire. Our favorite Fatebinder. We hope this finds you victoriously blood-soaked, thoroughly trembling and spent in glorious conquest against our many enemies, shared and otherwise. Do you enjoy the company of our little verse? Her dance never fails to inspire in us the most pleasant quivers. We have a gift for her, delivered through you due to the girl's questionable faculty with leathers. We have learned from one of our birds that a mercenary in Haven has been absolutely gloating about slaying her sisters. His boasts even secured him work defending some crossing merchant. Show her the sigils on the reverse. She'll know what they mean. The opposite page contains several rough ink scratch symbols that look like nothing more than a child's pictograms of their favorite animals. The Voice of Nerat. Respond rudely. Oh. Let's see. What would we write if we sent this? Wait. Yeah, Archon of Secrets. Receiving your missive was an unexpected pleasure. I shall see to it that Verse is informed. Doubtless this will end in blood. Fatebinder Brehana. And if you inquire further. No doubt you intend your message to elicit violence and chaos. That's standard for you. However, so I'm left to wonder, what else do you hope to accomplish? Fatebinder Brehana. Or respond rudely. With all due respect, shove off. Yeah. Let's not piss him off. And I don't see any reason to be rude to him at this point. Should we inquire further? Because he must have a hidden motive here. He would not do this out of kindness. Yeah, let's send this. And the missive is in transit, 1 day remaining. Okie dokie. Okay, so I guess we have to go to Verse now. Did we get the fire inside? The Voice of Nerat provided you information regarding the identities of those responsible for the deaths of Verse's Scarlet Fury's sisters. Help Verse track down the killers and attain some resolution. Aha, so maybe this is her personal quest that came with the Bastard's Wound expansion. Talk to Verse about the missive regarding her sisters. In his missive, the Voice of Nerat asks you to provide Verse with new evidence regarding the people that killed the members of her previous gang. Speak with Verse and discuss how you will proceed. Okie dokie. Let's do that. And do I want to do anything else here? No. Let's just go to our spire. We go to our mountain spire, talk with Verse, and maybe upgrade our spells or make new ones. And that's pretty much it, I think. And then after that, I think we are gonna go to Lethian's Crossing or Broken Place Wilderness. I might as well do that side quest real fast. But first, to Mountain Spire. A new missive. Alright, so we got a response. Ah, Fatebinder, you wound us. Have we ever needed an incentive beyond violence and chaos? If we have an ulterior motive, it is merely to see what Verse does with our gift. She is well practiced in both of those qualities, and we take incredible pleasure in observing her development. Set aside your paranoia and share in our delight, Brianna. Well, alright. Okay, so Verse is over here. Fatebinder Kalia. Well, let's check this out. Questions of balance. Fatebinder, allow me to be the first to congratulate you on resolving the situation at the Burning Library. You should see Fatebinder Rogalus veer against himself. Half of him reels at the sheer loss of tombs. Tombs is historical and magical, yet he cannot contain his glee at hearing that the sages have been finally and entirely broken. I do not share his loathing of the old school. They built their own pyre on their hubris, true, but my opposition to them remains purely professional. To have the old Vellum Citadel truly destroyed, my eyes burn at the secrets that met the flame. Comfort comes when I remember that an ambitious Fatebinder would have preserved a few choice pieces of lore, perhaps as much as they could carry out. I hope you soon make an effort to join us at court in the Bastard City. I often feel that it has been too long since we last whispered of the darker corners of Terratus. You have experienced so many of them as of late. Perhaps I can provide illumination. Kalia. So she's the other female Fatebinder from the court. Oh, we can't reply to this. Nope, we can't. Well, alright. Oh yeah, so, Verse.
Couldn't help but notice the bird from Cacophony.
Verse smirks as you approach, scrutinizing you with her mismatched gaze. How would you know where the bird came from? I received a missive from the Archon of Secrets. The Archon of Secrets is toying with us, with you in particular. How did you know where the bird came from?
The Voices birds have a certain hollowness to their movements, like puppets, or the fifth eye.
She chuckles, running a hand down her hair feathers.
But seriously, what's the boss want from us now?
Offer the missive. Want to read it? I'm quite sure she doesn't know how to read. The voice of Nerat is not my boss. He thinks he's found one of your sister's killers. Want to put a blade through the skull of one of the people who killed your sister Furies? Because one's apparently a loudmouth braggart. Yeah, I like this one the best. Although I would also like to point out that the Voice of Nerat is not my boss. Well, let's say this first.
I didn't say he was. What climbed up your spire and died?
Alright, so, want to put a blade through the skull of one of the people who killed your sister Furies? Because one's apparently a loudmouth braggart.
Wait, what? He found one of the shits who killed my Furies? Let's pack up and go!
Well, she's excited. I expected that. Who is this person? There's something else, these strange symbols on the back.
There's a lot to love about spycraft. The trickery, the blade work, keeping your senses awake, balancing on the edge between confusion and discovery. Memorizing the Archon's childish pictographs is not my favorite part.
She examines the parchment, frowning.
Malfora. She's one of Harshion's people. Bit boring, but gossipy in the way that pays. We should be able to find her along the road to Lethian's crossing.
Alright. And she's just going to trust us. That seems like a lot of clips to provide so little information. And she's just going to trust us.
The Voices gave us the passphrases that will get Malfora to open up to us. When we find her, let me do the talking and everything should run smooth as sea glass.
She rubs her hands together. Something tells me that if anything is going to be talking to the interrogations, it's going to be your fists. Not that I mind, I would do the exact same thing.
This will feel good, Finder. Wildly, incredibly, stupidly good.
Oh, damn, she is very, very into it. The Archon's sudden interest in your revenge doesn't seem suspicious to you.
Are you asking me if I trust the Voices of Nerat? Archon of Secrets, Spy Master, Arcane Pillar of Green Smoke and Flame, Immortal Magician, Eater of Minds, and Connoisseur of Perversions?
Yes?
Of course not.
I thought so.
But if it's some convoluted trap, I'll have your back and you'll have mine, right?
Yes, let's go.
Lead the way!
So, I guess we'll be taking... What's up there? Travel to the merchant crossroads and meet with Verse's contact. Alright, so, I guess we'll be taking Verse with us. I mean, we kinda have to take her now. So... You have carved out a real knack for yourself by breaking the Overlord's edicts left and right. Whatever Tunon is paying you for your services, I would say you are due for a raise. How does it feel? Not only have you given voice to the Overlord's will, but you are breaking Kyros's magic left and right. I'm exposing myself to powers I don't understand. I'm only serving the interests of the mission. I'm in no mood to disclose my thoughts. Well, our character is just a pure warrior who doesn't use magic of any kind, so I'm exposing myself to powers I don't understand. War is about taking risks, and you're putting yourself out there more than anyone. I can't help but respect that. I'm here if you need me, but I don't have a mind for arcane wisdom. I'll do whatever I can to get our little gang through this war, and if it ever looks like your strength is flagging, I'll put you out of your misery and take control. Cheer up! Well, thanks, Verse, that's very encouraging.
What do you need?
I find myself in need of an accomplished killer.
Point me in the right direction. I'll cut down whatever I find in my path.
Alright, so I think we'll just leave Kills and Shadow behind us for now.
We'll wait for a short while.
And we take Verse with us. Should I have a chat with Barrick as well before we leave? And you got a level as well. While you were here, you have not been lazy, Verse. I like that. So, ability and we can give 2 points. All right. Maybe giving her a bit more health is not a terrible idea. Ability and spell cooldown, that's actually very, very good, so you can spam her abilities more. Accuracy and armor deflection, yeah, let's do that. And then we should be able to give, 2 talent points. So let's see. Lethal opening. Verse will counterattack enemies that miss her in melee combat. Verse must be wielding a melee weapon, of course. Pick on the spit. Verse swaps positions with an enemy and then stabs them with each of her weapons. I like both of these. But I think I'm gonna pick Lethal opening because because even if I have to play defensively and choose the dodging stance, whatever it was called, she can still deal a nice amount of damage when enemies keep missing her. So let's pick that. And what do we have here? Blood calls to blood. Melee critical hits damage enemies near their target. So splash damage basically. Know your enemy too. Know your enemy will also grant accuracy to verse when she grazes an enemy. When inflicted graze. Yeah, I really like the plus dodge here, because it will really complement the little opening here. Killing spree. After a kill, verse will strike 3 times with her attacks for a time, for 20 seconds. And Fury's Embrace. Unleash a rapid fury of strikes against a single foe. Each hit applies a damage over time effect. So this is basically a monk ability. Valid weapons, dual wield. Okay, maybe not. I was just looking at the icon and it looks like it's just a fist punching someone. Oh yeah, this is a very tough one. I think I'm gonna go with this. Just because the extra dodge will complement a little opening. Yes, and then I got it. And then I think I want to train my people. I'll train anyone who wants to learn. This also stretches his stiff muscles and grins, long as they don't mind a little ego bruising in the process. Show me what you have got. Alright, so I want parrying. And one-handed weapons would be nice too. And for Lantry, yeah, we can teach anything here. Nothing useful anyway. Neither for Pep. I want to give Verse some more dodging. But one-handed weapons would also be nice. And this also affects dual wielding, right? I'm not actually sure. So I would buy more of that. I think I'm just gonna buy some more dodging if I can find a trainer who can do just that. Yes, you want something from me? He folds his arms impatiently. Oh wait, now this is a simple trader. Well, let's see what he got. Let's see what he's got. Alright. Light armor. These are all light armor. Oh, I'm speaking about... Okay. Okay. Oh, there. I don't know what happened there. That screen just froze there for a moment. Well, anyway. So... Oh yeah, so we had this. Well, yeah, it is a heck of a lot better, obviously, but which one should I take away? Oh, and we also had the dagger. Where is it? There. Let's see. So, let's take away the bronze dagger there. 15 accuracy would be pretty damn good, and we also get quite a lot of recovery. So let's do it like this. But I wonder, should this be in the main hand? It's 122, and now it's 126. Well, let's give it this way, yeah. Yeah, these were very good for her. And then, of course, these boots. We can sell these. We can sell this crap away. Ah, this is useless. Might as well say that as well. Heavy armor. Nah, I don't like this either. Why didn't I sell this last time? I don't know. What about this armor, by the way? No, it's the exact same stats. All right. Well, let's sell these away. So we don't want these. There. And where was the other trainer? Ah, yeah, this one. Back for more, I see. He raises his fists. You won't learn if I hold anything back. Be ready, Fatebinder. Aha, alright, here we can give her some dodge. Yeah, let's go all the way with the dodge. Almost got a new level for her. Damn. And we can't teach anything useful to these two. I really should hire a trainer who can. Really should hire a trainer who can actually teach something useful for my spellcasters. Let's see. One-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, dual wield. Ah, okay. So there actually was a dual wield separately here. Good thing I didn't invest any more points to one-handed there earlier. Parry and dodge. Let's see. Maybe I should dismiss someone. One-handed weapons, parry and athletics. One-handed weapons, parry and dodge, and yeah. Let's dismiss Isolon. I think he's the Scarlet, not Scarlet, this favored one, and let's hire her. But is there anyone who can teach some lore to us? A battlefield scavenger with many unique items for sale. Corpse Eye. It must be a Scarlet Fury. Scarlet Chorus even. Where are the lore people? Maybe we can't hire any lore people in this spire. I mean, there is 4 more. Fatebinder Cesper. A Fatebinder with the ability to change what skills you are proficient in. Yeah, that sounds very good, but it's also freaking expensive. 1 iron ring. Food to take to battle. Produces weapon. Produces weapons. No one here seems to be teaching lore. That's a bit shame. Well, alright. But then spell curation. But first, let's have a chat with Barrick.
It is rare enough that anyone has the opportunity to proclaim an edict, much less break one. How are you holding up, Fatebinder?
To be honest, my head hurts. I thought with powers greater than my understanding, and yet I don't stop. To be honest, my head hurts.
That is to be expected. I am no expert in arcane matters, but I understand that the will and commitment needed to shatter Kairos' magic are not resources in abundance. Take care that you don't exhaust yourself and become worthless to the war effort.
Barrick looks you up and down with appraisal, keeping any conclusions to himself.
What can I do for you?
Suit up, Barrick. We are leaving. Even though he's always suited up, literally. You don't like me very much, do you? Barrick Fear 2. I have found you to be an ancient of great misdeeds, and it disgusts me that your official capacity keeps you at bay from the guild or punishment deserving of a soldier if they committed similar acts. The question is irrelevant. Your support of the Voice of Nerat makes you an enemy of Graven Ash, and no friend of mine. I cling to your allegiance in hope that it will end the war and bring dignity to the disfavored. Alright. I would like to chat with ask about Barrick's history some more, even though I know his history already, but maybe some other time. We have been talking quite a lot in this episode already. Immediate concerns. We should talk about your connection with Verse. Yeah, maybe some other day. Immediate concerns. What did you have in mind? What do you think of our circumstances? What are your thoughts on me and my deeds? Well, I think that's quite clear by now. What do you think of our traveling companions? I am more accustomed to traveling in the company of soldiers, so I am out of practice judging the word of civilians and miscreants. If you had anyone in particular in mind, I will give them some thought. Well, let's start with Verse. I try not to. She's a force of chaos, an agent of the Voice of Nerat. Taking her into our confidence can only lead to ruin. And yet she's a capable fighter. For the time being, I am confident that you can trust her to serve your interests, and rely on her skills on the battlefield. She may even offer some useful perspective on the war. Well, at least he respects her, to some degree. What do you think of Lantry? I do not know how many years he has walked the face of Terratus, but he clearly knows more than he claims to. Since he claims to know a great deal indeed, there is no limit to what he could be holding back. Kills in Shadow. Do speak, Ironclad. Tell to Beastwoman each and every thought hidden behind Iron Shadow. Say words that will surely incite Beastwoman to violence. Calm down, Kills. Go on, Barrick. Tell Kills in Shadow what you think of her. Yeah. Loyalty with Kills in Shadow. A fascinating specimen, to be sure. Though I am loath to tolerate beastmen serving under the banner of Kairos, even I must admit that her strength and tenacity have inspired me. Even though you haven't seen her fight even once yet. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I do not think that she would hesitate to hunt you for sport if the whim appealed to her. Be warned. And lastly, Ebb. She is an opinionated and talented as she is vulgar. Much as we can disagree on the reasons behind this war, I have never found a more impressive example of a tearsman. I admit to also finding her quite striking. Whenever she makes a jab at me, or Kairos, or the Legion, in spite of whatever I might say in my defense, I am pleased to have captured her interest. Ah, do you like Ebb? You like an Ebb here, Barrick? Because that's what it sounds like to me. But I would not have her know my thoughts on the matter. She is a southern savage. After all, I, a decorated soldier. No need to overcomplicate our feelings in a time of war. Yeah, he likes Ebb, all right. And I like her too. Okay, is there anything else I want to do before we go? No, I don't think so. Okay, so let's leave. What was this again? Journal. The Voice of Nerat's missive includes a cipher verse can use to obtain further intelligence from an informant at Merchant Crossroads near Lethian's Crossing. Travel there and find out what this merchant knows. Yeah, let's do just that. So, to Merchant Crossroads we go. Not actually a crossroads, and as well traveled by soldiers, farmers and peasants as merchant caravans, no one is entirely sure how this stretch of winding, lightly wooded road came by its name. Some suggest it's for the bandits that haunt the area, offering the forking path between a merchant's rings and their life. Well, let's go there. Ambush. A group of mercenaries, members of the Bronze Brotherhood, are blocking the road to the Lethian's Crossing. Oh yeah, these guys, I remember them. Oh crap, I forgot to upgrade our spells and maybe even create new ones. Should we do it now? Well, let's do it now, quickly. Okay, so you cannot view or modify Restoring Touch until you learn Sigil of Life. What? But doesn't he know it then? Well, I guess not. Alright, so here. Let's see, how do we do this again? I would like to make this AoE if possible. The range of spells. Duration Sigil. Recovery Sigil. So let's see. So this is second level. Third level. Oh wait. So it's now 6 meters instead of 4, and now it's 2.8 instead of 2.5. But can we attach this as well? Oh wait, what did we? There we go. Sigil of Timeless Form. What does this do? I'm not entirely sure what this does. Timeless Form. Increases the duration of spells effects. Alright. Oh, yeah. And cooldown 24 seconds, and this... and this decreases the cooldown greatly, 18 seconds. Okay, but wait. Why can't I... Is it updated now? No, it isn't. Or maybe I was giving too many... required lore 110, and he has 94. All right. So show the cooldown, or what did this do again? Oh yeah, this increases duration. So with this, without it we have the duration lasts 45 seconds, and with this it's 63. That's a lot. So let's go with that. How about illusions? Increase a little bit of the damage. Range. I would really love to increase the range of our Restoring Touch, because the range is only 2 meters. The cooldown of the spell. Oh wait. Where is the cooldown? Ah, there. From 38 to 28. And duration. Okay, he doesn't have enough lore for that. This is a very powerful sigil here. Guess we'll just go with the range and expression. Used to create spells that affect single targets near the caster, and this used to create spells that affect distant targets. Yeah, I think we stick with that. Ah shit, I'm gonna have to do this again. Oh wait, now it's 100 all of a sudden. Well, I don't think that we need the range too much. At least I haven't had any problems with that before. I really want to... Until you learn Sigil of Life. I thought he would know Sigil of Life already. Why else could he be able to use the Restoring Touch? I guess I have to buy Sigil of Life. And Ep. Wait, how can I... You cannot view or modify Electric Jolt until you learn Sigil of Lightning. Ah, god damn it, you don't know it either. How about this? Now, come on, can I at least make new spells? Yes, I can. Sigil of Emotions, Force, Illusion, and Vigor. Infuse the target with energy, enchanting the mind or body with greater power. Highly addictive to weaker minds, ambitious mages in Kairos' court have been known to use doses of vigor to enthrall courtiers, building networks of power and influence based on their target's desperate need for one more spell. Illusion. These who master the Sigil of Illusion are skilled in the arts of deceit and trickery, using its powers to misdirect and confuse their targets at critical moments. Often derided by combat mages for its inability to kill outright, those who specialize in illusion know its powers can turn the tide of any battle. It merely requires someone smart enough to know how to use it. Sigil of Force. To channel arcane energy into magical forces that push and knock enemies to the ground. Many mage guilds throughout the centuries discovered the Sigil of Force, and each held it as a jealously guarded secret. As each was conquered and absorbed into Kairos' empire, they were chagrined, whatever that means, to discover that their secret was the most commonly known piece of arcane lore on Terratus. And lastly, emotions. The energies evoked by the sigil of emotions both fortify and undermine the mental humors, creating passions in the target ranging from apathy to blinding rage. The blood chanters of the Scarlet Chorus are the self-professed masters of the sigil of emotions, having developed the technique through the study of Siren, Archon of Song. Interesting. And the Tyranny is the other party companion that we can recruit in this game. Let's see, what can we do with Sigil of Force? Expression used to create spells that affect its distant targets. Now this is basically just crush damage. Force of the daisies and interrupts. Well, that sounds very good. Yeah, the longer the better. Days affection. Oh, he doesn't have nearly as much lore as Lantry. And let's not take that. 80. God damn it. These take fuck tons of lore. I really need to find someone who can teach her some more lore. Okay, so this won't do, this won't do, and this definitely won't do. Well, damn it. Well, this is still a very important. This is still going to be a good spell because it interrupts. Well, why did it say that? Because it interrupts. We can interrupt spellcaster. So this alone makes the spell worth it. So assign here. Yeah. Okay. I think I really should buy some sigils and some new accents and stuff like that from merchants next time, but they're usually so damn expensive. Well, anyway, let's deal with this. I remember this place from my first playthrough. And here's Welby. You don't mind if I help myself here, do you? Of course you don't. Nobleman's sandals. Tidecaster's boots. Well, it is slightly better than what Ebb is wearing, so might as well give it to her. There we go. Alright, Welby of the Bronze Brotherhood. A tall woman stands here, surveying the area from a small overlook. She glances at you and immediately goes back to watching her surroundings. Welcome to Ironhall Trail, Fatebinder of Tunon. Yeah, Bronze Brotherhood. She salutes you. My name is Welby, first axe for the Bronze Brotherhood, though I'm not sure that title matters anymore. And in case... Oh shit, there's so much to read here. Well, let's read this quickly and refresh our memories of what these guys are about. The Bronze Brotherhood is a mercenary company from the Free City studying the Tier southern coast. Many of these mercenary companies were employed by Kairos' agents and slaughtered during the war. The Bronze Brotherhood survived thanks to their relatively safe posting at the Lethian's Crossing, where the Voice of Nerat hired the company to help protect the town's forge of operation. Among the most trained and dedicated warriors of the Tiers, the Bronze Brotherhood have a reputation for ruthlessness and tenacity. Aggression and decisive thinking are so highly prized by the Brotherhood that the violent enigmatic scourge is the group's mascot. A creature most decent folk consider the stuff of nightmares. The term brother is used for mercenaries of both genders, as the company's title harkens back to the archaic notion of living as men. In Tier's custom, this amounts to releasing all claims to lands, to better assure an employer that the Brotherhood won't covet the realms they are paid to protect. Okay, so that's the Bronze Brotherhood. She pauses to gather her thoughts, then opens her mouth to continue. Instead, she exhales slowly and shakes her head. Never mind, you needn't be burdened with my problems. While I appreciate you coming to me before speaking to Rai Tomman, you will need to be careful. He has, of late, been acting out of sorts, and any perceived slight can become a problem for the one who offends him. Choose your words with him carefully. Ah, right, Tomman, I remember that bastard. What can I help you with? How could talking to you offend Rai Tomman? What does it mean to be first axe? Well, tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood, even though we know it quite well by now. Welby laughs a little. We are mercenaries, plain and simple. I'm not going to pretend like it's anything more. While it's true we have, in recent years, been a little more stationary than your typical crew, it doesn't change the fact that our services can be purchased if the price is right. The Voices made an offer to assure our cooperation, and we took it. If I had known Kairos would try to have us thrown out of our home afterward, well, I probably would have still taken the rings, but I would have been a little more prepared for the inevitable conflict. Right, someone will try to sell you on our long and noble traditions, like we are some kind of altruistic saints who can do no wrong, but the story is as old and smelly as Grandma Beastman's tail hairs. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to take a job that doesn't seem right to me, but a ring's a ring, and I will go where the money leads me. One point, someone, and I will agree on is this: we did a job for Kairos, but we were not treated fairly. The Brotherhood is strong, and we have the numbers. We will fight to the last man. I just don't agree with Right Someone's methods. And what does it mean to be first axe? She signs. I wish I knew, Fatebinder. The first axe protects and consults with the first brother. I am supposed to be Right Someone's advisor, confident and guard. Lately his behavior has become erratic. He is acting paranoid, manic and distrustful. My duty as first axe is to protect the first brother, but I am also sworn to protect the Brotherhood, and if that means the removal of Right Someone, so be it. He has too many supporters in Lethian's Crossing right now to speak out against him. Well, maybe I could help you with that. I would really like it if we could recruit the Bronze Brotherhood to join the Scarlet Chorus. What do you think has happened to Right Someone? Or how would you run the Brotherhood? I wouldn't waste time and resources on petty vendettas, that much I can tell you. I like battle and I like rings, and with the Brotherhood we used to get both regularly. Now all we have is fear, suspicion and blood. I want the disciplined regiment back, and I intend to have it. Yeah, sounds good to me. While I may agree that we were treated unjustly, Right Someone's methods for obtaining restitution are despisable. Sounds to me like you are simply a coward. If you want something, you take it. Right Someone has the right idea. True, acting like a child when you don't get what you want is not the behavior of a leader. What do you think has happened to Right Someone? Yeah. Honestly, I couldn't speak to the cause. The stress of leadership, the battles with Kairos' forces, his night in the Old Walls, Welby shrugs. Does it matter? His behavior is endangering the Brotherhood, and he must be stopped before we are destroyed. I fear people will be hurt by far more than a simple toll. She points south. He is over there searching corpses, looking for information I know he's not going to find. He ambushed a patrol. He's going to anger an Archon, and for what? His pride. So wait, no, let's do this again. So, So true. Acting like a child when you don't get what you want is not the behavior of a leader. Favor with the Bronze Brotherhood. Except in this case, the child is in control of an army capable of laying waste to his home. Let me ask something else. What can I help you with? How could talking to you offend Right Someone? You chose to speak to the first axe before speaking to the actual first brother, the bodyguard before the leader. How could this mean anything but collision and treason? Well, it's not like I know any of you and your ranks. I know I speak out of turn, but I only wish to warn you. Tread lightly around Right Someone. Well, we'll see what happens. That's all for now. Well, be nuts. Bar your leave, Fatebinder, and be careful. Was there anything else that we can loot? No.
I got it.
You must be joking. At all? I pay no such thing. I demand to be let through. Sorry, no one passes through without paying. A small figure stands before some armor-clad soldiers. His arms move wildly as he gestures in frustration, yelling at the man directly in front of him. Absolutely not. I have come through Ironhold Trail more times than I can remember. No one ever asked for a toll before, and I won't be paying one now. He notices you standing nearby and turns to speak. Fatebinder, surely you, of all people, can help me. My name is Aster, and I must get to Lethian's Crossing. I have goods to deliver. Tell this man I will not be paying a toll, to him or anyone, and he's let me through. He folds his arms over his chest and nods with pronounced finality. Greetings, Fatebinder. I am sorry you have been drawn into this. What you have stumbled into here is merely a conflict of the changing times. I am Will of the Bronze Brotherhood. Ironhold Trail is under our protection, and anyone passing through must obey our rules. If this gentleman would like passage through our land, a simple donation is required. He holds out his hand. These funds help our cause and keep Ironhold a safe place for all travelers. Clearly you both can see the value in that. Aster speaks, his arm swinging about again, emphasizing his words. And who exactly is keeping it safe? You standing there with your weapons at the ready against me. His arms drop and he turns to you again. I'm not but a traveling merchant. I have no money to spare, and I certainly pose no threat to anyone. Keep this area safe indeed. He points at Will. You are the only threat here. Fatebinder, please, talk some sense into this man. Pay 50 ring toll for Aster. Here's payment for the merchant to pass unharmed. I address Will. This man will not be paying a toll today. Call your guards off and allow us passage immediately. I address Aster. Just because you passed through before means nothing. Pay the toll now or heed back. You try my patience. This matter is waste of my time. You are on your own, merchant. In my first playthrough, I remember paying him. Paying the 50 rings so he could go through. But this character doesn't really care about the problems of a single merchant. Just because you passed through before means nothing. Pay the toll now or hit back. Do you try my patience? Wrath with Lethian's Crossing. Aster fumes for a few moments, his mouth comically opening and closing in rage. I cannot abide this level of absurdity. He rifles through his belongings and pulls out some rings, slamming them down into Will's outstretched hand. Fine, here's your toll, thief. Now get out of my way. He turns to you, look of distaste on his face. I will not forget your help, Fatebinder. Ooh, scary. Maybe this will bite us later in the ass once we get to the Lethian's Crossing and try to speak to other merchants. Let's hope not. Will smiles and puts the rings in a pouch hanging from his neck. I knew you would see it my way, Fatebinder. He makes an exaggerated flourish and moves out of Aster's way. And you, my good merchant, thank you for your gracious payment. You may pass. Will returns to his position and looks you over, his former genial mood gone. So a Fatebinder in our little corner of the world. Who would have ever thought this would happen? He spits between his teeth and crushes it into the dirt with his boot. While I appreciate your help dealing with that merchant, I'm afraid I can't let you pass until you have spoken with our leader, Right Hammond. Personally, I thought he was crazy saying you would be visiting Lethian's Crossing. Looks like I owe him a few rings. He shakes the paws around his neck, making the rings inside jingle melodically. Not that there's a shortage of those out here. Yeah, apparently. What can this humble servant of the Brotherhood do for you, Fatebinder? And don't ask me to let you through, because that isn't happening. Where's loyalty? Someone made the mistake of giving this little man too much power, and he's about to discover what happens when you stand in my way. If you think you can get him to move, do it. Thanks, but I can handle this myself. Yeah, sure, try. With pleasure. Hey, shitmeat. Do you plan on moving your ass this century, or do we have to stand here jawing like a bunch of greybeards? We are on a mission, and staring at your ugly mug and catching up on the past won't get it done any faster. Are you going to move on, or do I need to start cutting? Because I'm partial to either option. The mercenary's mouth hangs open in disbelief. He swallows and attempts to gather his pride. I would help you, but my boss told me to guard this bridge. No one gets by without Right Someone's permission. Nerat with the Bronze Brotherhood. Kairos, give me strength. You deserve this far more than I'm going to enjoy it. Verse swings her fist and lands a punch with a meaty whack, snapping back the mercenary's head. Will rubs his cheek. Hold on, I'm just doing my job. I apologize if I offended. Right, someone will have my head if I let you through. There's nothing I can do about it. And there comes Right Someone himself. While you are talking to Will, a striking man with a shock of bright blonde hair approaches, moving away from some men searching bodies of slain soldiers to the south. He watches you intently as he closes, his angular features pulling into a look of disdain. And here's the Fatebinder. He doesn't mask the displeasure in his voice. I knew we would see you. I was just wondering when. What brings you out here? No one asked you to come. Are Kairos' dogs ready to be put down again? What do you mean again? They basically own the entire tiers. I won't surrender the crossing no matter how many times you try to take it. We were hired to protect this city and we will continue to do so. No one else will have it. He glances at his men, who have stopped to watch the conversation. With a start they return to searching the bodies. Never mind, he waves a hand dismissively. I don't care why you are here. My name is Right Someone. I am the leader of the Bronze Brotherhood. But I'm sure you already know that. I couldn't help but see you over here, talking to Will and that traveling merchant. Only here for a moment and already sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, aren't you? I don't appreciate others invading my territory, Fatebinder. Yeah, I really don't like this guy at all. He's such a dick. I told her she had to speak to you, Right Someone. She wanted through, but I told her no. If you don't give me the signal, the Fatebinder isn't getting into the Lethian's crossing. No one will invade your territory. Right Someone stares at Will for a few moments, lips purse, then continues as if Will never spoke. Speaking of which, what did Welby have to say? He looks north where Welby stands, watching you both intently. Has she already started filling your mind with lies about me? She and I are going to have a chat soon. I can't have my first axe countermanding me at every turn. I know she wants my position. Watch yourself while you are a guest in my land. If you have come to stir up more trouble, we are well equipped and will not back down in the defense of what is rightfully ours. He whips his arm in front of him, gesturing to the surrounding countryside. Welby and I might not always agree, but that is one point we see eye to eye on. If you step out of line, we will both correct you. His eyes narrow and he leans toward you. You are not welcome here. Yeah, he's such a dick. I really wanted to kill this guy in my first playthrough, and I did, and I would like to do so again. But this time, I try not to kill the entire Bronze Brotherhood, because I would really like to try to make Welby the new leader of the Bronze Brotherhood, and maybe recruit them to the Scarlet Chorus. Now tell me what you want or leave. You would do well to watch your tone when speaking to a Fatebinder. Yep. Right, someone laughs hollowly. I care not about Kairos' forces. We rebuffed their feeble attempt to remove us from our rightful home once already. I am more than happy to try again. You will find I do not cower when you raise your voice against me, lapdog. He is full of himself. Why are you charging travelers at all to get through Ironhall Trail? I don't see how the affairs of the Brotherhood are your business. Well, you're asking me to pay a toll, so yes, it is my business. Suffice it to say, the funds we receive from our tolls help us keep the lands around the Lethian's crossing safe. We are owed our duties, and we shall have them. Let's see what to ask next. Tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood, but I don't think that he can tell us anything new. Tell me about Welby. He shoots and looks to the north. I had such high hopes for her as my first axe. The continued success of the Brotherhood should be the single most important goal for anyone who is a member. She seems to have forgotten her place. She is not the head of his band. I am. If she doesn't stop overreacting, I will have to replace her with someone who knows how to obey. And why is Lethian's crossing so important to the Brotherhood? We were asked to do a job and we did it. Then what happens? Kairos attempts to eject us from our home. He makes an emphatic gesture to the north towards Lethian's crossing. By all rights, that city is ours and suddenly Kairos wants it. Well, I intend to keep it. I refuse to leave. We have protected the crossing for years and even ensured Kairos' forces could do business here when Nerat asked us to. No, we did the job we were asked and this land belongs to us. Well, I need to get to Lethian's crossing nonetheless. Right, someone considers your request for a moment. If I let you through, you must promise to behave. I have enough problems dealing with everyone else. Yeah. I don't need the hassle of keeping an eye on you too. Well, I can do that much. So watch yourself. This is my city and I have eyes everywhere. If you intend to stir up trouble, go somewhere else. I don't need it here. He turns to Will. Let the Fatebinder through. Do nothing to delay or accost this party or you'll answer to me. Will gives him a quick salute. Ah, alright, he's actually letting us through. That's kinda surprising. I was expecting him to say that you can go through if you pay the toll like everyone else. In my first playthrough, I just straight out attacked him because, well, he's a dick, and I hated him and I wanted to kill him. But then he just simply runs away, and then we kill everyone else in here. But yeah, no violence this time. Should we ask about the Brotherhood still? Just to hear what he thinks about it. Fuck it, let's do it. So tell me about the Brotherhood. We are a humble group with noble, long-held traditions on the side of right and honor. Raitomo's voice fills with pride. If there is an injustice that needs to be rectified, we are called. So yeah, Welby was not kidding when she said that someone would call the Brotherhood noble and with long held traditions and all that shit. Sounds like you are upstanding citizens. So you are hired mercenaries. I don't think he's gonna like this when I say this, but yeah, fuck it. Right. Raitomon's face takes on a sour expression. If you want to be crass, then yes. People pay us for our services, but it's hardly the reason we do what we do. If you say so. Relax, there's no shame in doing what you do well for a decent wage, but claiming you are doing the work of the rightness when you are just selling your brawl makes you sound like a brigand or a conqueror. Shut up, Lantry. Those are quite arrogant words from a man who belongs to a group that takes knowledge and hides it from the world. Your opinion in this matter means nothing to me. Okay, so you said you don't do it for the money, but that's why you are fighting over Lethian's crossing. Should we just take a risk and ask this? Because I don't want to start a fight. If a fight erupts, I just reload. You said you don't do it for the money, but that's why you are fighting over Lethian's crossing. I don't appreciate your tone of the implications of what you are saying, Fatebinder. Someone's eyes are hard and his voice is flat. This is a mere matter of principle. We performed a service and we were paid for that service. Don't try to glibly explain away a complex situation. This is our home, this is my home. I will have it, no one else. Now, if all you came here to do is insult me and mine, I would suggest you leave. We will speak again soon. I genuinely hope that isn't the case. You got Raitomo's permission to go, Fatebinder, so go. Yeah, let's do just that, but before that though, just wondering, anything here to loot? No. I guess they took all the loot. I remember that the Bronze Brotherhood people are a huge pain in the ass to fight, because they wield big two-handed hammers, and they hurt like hell, even on normal difficulty. So I can only imagine what how much pain in the ass they're going to be in hard difficulty. But anyway, anything here? No loot. All right, so now before I end this episode here, I want to go to the merchant crossroads and see what's going on there, and talk to that contact. And here we are. And she is the contact, I take it. I don't see anyone else here. You don't mind if I help myself, do you? Light armor cloth. Alright, so let's give it to who took them? Are they here? Yes, they are here. Yes, we just give this to Eb. Alright, so Malfora. I'm not open for business, friend, and I'm not looking for trouble. Basila in Lethian's Crossing expects me with this shipment shortly. Wouldn't want to keep her waiting. The merchant watches you warily as you approach, a heavy pack hanging from her shoulders. Soft and well fed, this one. But look at her stance. She can handle herself. Verse takes the woman in with a long, appraising gaze. Excuse me? The merchant blinks. Quit the act. Give us what we need to know. What did I say? I said let me handle this. Well, do it. You must have mistaken me for someone else. I assure you. Oh, fine. The road to Starwood is paved in iron. Verse signs. The terms of Asura are mostly air. She nods with relief. The Queen of Apex died friendless. A bird in the hand is worth a tortoise in a cabbage patch. What? At least they are not still burning. The Queen of Apex died friendless. Fear with verse. What? No, it's yet their papers aren't aflame. Please, I'm trying to work here. Okay, I'm a bit confused. Charming. Sorry about the formalities. If word to go back to their voices that I was cutting corners on security, let's just say I prefer my tongue in my mouth and my bowels in my, bowels, I guess. She shakes her head. You are the Fatebinder of the Mountain Spire, correct? I'm Malfora. She opens her hands to you, palms out. So what does the Voice of Nerat want us to know? What do you have for us? We give one passphrase and you are willing to discuss things openly. So much for discretion. Let's not say this. What do you have for us? Right. Malfora glances between the two of you before her eyes settle on Verse. The man you're interested in calls himself Crocus. No idea whether that's what his mother named him. Showed up in the crossing a few months back, picking fights and looking for rings. He ran afoul of the garrison, and they stumped the pants gravy out of him. That quieted him down for a bit, but when he started casting around for work again, he boasted of his victory against a band of Furies during the war. Is he still at the crossings? Chaos' priest protects Scarlet Furies. Not a smart thing to brag about. Yeah, I guess. Very stupid, in fact. You would think a story like that would scare off any potential employers, but Ice has never been the brightest ring on the rope. She shakes her head. Who is Isa? A cloth dealer, originally out of the Asura, runs a circuit from the crossing to the brothers and down into the claimer edges of the Blade Grave. And in case you don't remember, this is the realm of Star Wars, basically. He hired Crocus and a few others last week, claiming he needed extra protection for his daughter. Why had he brought his daughter to the crossing in the first place? Overlord only knows. Is that all you got? 2 verse? Thoughts? Shit sticks. It's not going to be easy to find a caravan between here and the Blade Grave. The verse curls her lower lip below her uneven teeth. Luckily for you, I'm very good at what I do. Malfora smiles and produces a scroll from her backpack. He usually goes to Stalwart by way of the ocean spire, but he's cutting east to make time and avoid beasts. She wraps a knuckle on a thick black line.
You learn something every day.
Aha, was it first or Ep who got a level? I think it was first. Your best bet is to wait for him here, at Hunter's Respite. She points to a position just south of Haven. What can you tell me about Hunter's Respite? I'm supposed to wait. I'm supposed to wait for him and hope he shows up. What's your role in all this? Just who are you exactly? Well, she's a spy, obviously. I'm supposed to wait for him and hope he shows up. If you want to catch Crocus, yes. Ice has taken the southern road out of Haven, so he'll almost certainly stop there. He's never made a great secret about it being his favorite resting stop around these parts. Well, what can you tell me about Hunter's Respite? Why he likes it so much? A small stretch of wilderness far enough off their trade route to dissuade raiders, but near enough to avoid losing much time. The isolation recommends it, but not much else. Honestly, the respite's starting to get too well known as a stopover. I give it a year before thieves start hitting it. She sighs. Alright, thank you, Malfora. Yeah, thanks. When we find this bastard, we'll open him from balls to chin. Damn. You now know everything I know about this so-called Fury Slayer even. If you have any other questions, you'll have to ask someone else. Malfora bows informally at the waist. Oh wait, it was us who got the level. Nice. So the fire inside. Okay, let's do this real quick. Okay, so I would like to give her at least a little bit more damage. Yeah, let's put 1 point to might. And here, so what did we want to pick? Let's check what these are. Second wind. Once per combat, when you fall to low health, you let out a battle cry that heals you and your party members for a portion of the maximum health. Fuck yes, this sounds very good. This makes us even tankier and harder to kill, but we also heal our allies at the same time. That sounds very good. Arbiter of Knowledge. Grants additional spell slots to everyone in the party. Not bad. Boosts morale. While in combat, your party members that fight near you gain a bonus to each of their attributes. Not bad. Abundant Arms 2. The party gains use of 2 additional weapon sets and can switch weapons in combat with a lower recovery penalty. And Seize the Initiative. After attacking a target from stealth, increase the damage dealt by you and your party members for a short time. So this would be very good for Rogue. For how long? 30 seconds. I think I like this the best. And here, Blade Wall 2 allows 2 additional enemies to be engaged at one time and starts a large bonus to damage dealt to targets that are stunned or prone. A moderately increased weapon damage while using single one-handed melee weapon and allows basic attacks to strike multiple times. I think I like this the best, so let's pick that one, and maybe next time one-handed mastery. There. So let's check the map real quick. So Hunter's Respite is over here. Not far from the main trade route south towards Stalwart, but removed from most the territory staked out by the disfavored Legion and Chorus gangs. This wooded glade has become a popular a resting location for caravans since the invasion of Kairos' forces. Okie dokie. Should we go there right now? Let's see, how long have I been playing? Okay, I've been playing for about 1 hour and 30 minutes. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna end this episode here, and in the next one we'll go to Hunter's Respite and kill that bastard who killed versus the Scarlet Fury gang. And I'm actually expecting him to be quite tough nut to crack and kill, because you don't just kill Scarlet Furies easily. And then after that we go to Broken Plains Wilderness and to this little side quest we got quite a long time ago from Cacophony. And after that, if we still got time, we go to Lethian's Crossing and see what's going on there. So that's my plan for the next episode. So until next time, thank you for watching once again, and see you next time for more Tyranny.